Should you buy a house to live in, or should you buy an investment property? That is the question. And I think it's a very good question. So this is just what I think. And this is just what I think after investing in real estate for a while. And my answer probably was different earlier. But I think that you should buy both. And how do you buy both? Well, what you can do is you can buy a 4-unit, 3-unit, a duplex, a small unit, where you can live in one part of it, and then the other half can be, or other quarter, 3/4 can be rented out and essentially paying for everything, so you're living for free. That would be the ideal setup, in my opinion, right? Because you can buy a 4-unit property, I think up to 4 units, using like an FHA loan or a conventional loan. So you can use normal bank financing, easy squeezy. You have a W-2 job, again, easy squeezy to get that mortgage. And then once you get that mortgage, you can move in there, and ideally you would buy the maximum amount, so a 4-unit, and you would live in 1 of the units, and then you'd have 3 tenants. So those 3 tenants would be paying your taxes, insurance, your mortgage, and if you do it right, you would still be making some money on top of that. So you would be living for free and making some money. So what's better than that, right? And why is that so good? Well, on a house, a house for most people is like the largest expense they have, right? Well, I guess for all people, really, the home you live in is like the biggest expense that you have monthly, right? Your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your utilities, the upkeep, all that stuff, right? But if you can get rid of all that by just living with some other people, that's not a big deal, right? And ideally, the ideal situation would be you just keep doing that, right? So it's called house hacking, right? You keep house hacking little small 4 units, and it's just like this came up because it came up in a question someone was asking. They're like, we'll move into a new city. Should I buy a house, or should I buy something where I can rent? And the answer was buy something that you can rent, right? Because what you can do is you can keep recycling this, just keep buying 4 units and living in them, and keep buying 4 units and living in them. So ideally you get to a point where you're making a few $1,000s a month, and then you can just buy whatever house you want, and it's free, right? So why would I always say to go with an investment before actually buying a house for yourself? Everyone sells a house like this, like most people live in, as the best financial decision you can make, the American dream, the whatever else, right? Well, in all actuality, it's not, right? It's actually a terrible investment if you do out all your numbers. And why is that? Well, you don't get to depreciate a house. You don't get to claim all the repairs, because everything always breaks. You don't get to claim any of that. You don't get to deduct you don't get to deduct anything, where as an investment, you can pretty much deduct all that stuff, right? So that's the first reason. And the other reason is that house that you buy for 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever, $100,000, you end up paying like 3 to 4 times more than that after your mortgage is paid. So no matter how much your house appreciates, it's still probably not going to be how much you ended up paying in that 30-year span, right? So that's another reason. And that's like a whole nother video. I was talking about how houses aren't a good investment, and everyone thinks they are. And they are for most people, because that is the only like investment they have. And if they wouldn't have had that, they probably would have just blown that money on some stupid shit. So, hey, there is probably like a little balance there in the middle. But when it comes down to like mostly where like this question came from, someone was asking that they're moving to a new market and what should they do? Is it better to just buy a house or buy some sort of like duplex, 3-unit or 4-unit to move into? Why not live for free, right? Buy a little 3-unit, 4-unit, live for free in it, and then you have that much more money to either invest back into real estate, or go on vacations, or do whatever you like to do. Play with butterflies, or knit, or crochet, or I don't know, build model airplanes or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's my opinion. I think that's always the best go-to, and houses are not a very good investment if they're not rentals. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions, or if you disagree, let me know. If you disagree, I'd be curious why you disagree about why a house is actually a good investment. So anywho, have a good night, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you on the next one.